Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. So they asked me, where is it that you get your information from? Hey, all of these videos that you make commentaries about and the things you talk about and the subject and topics that you touch on and everything, where is it that you get your information from? Well, it's definitely not the fake news media. I'm not sitting around here watching CNN and MSNBC or Fox News and all this kind of stuff. All these TV talking puppets and pundits on television here. You know, they claim they report the news and let you decide and all this kind of thing. The thing is, each of these television networks are they come spiced up a little bit different. You can turn on the Fox News and you can taste that flavor of news. You can take the TV remote, switch over to NBC, and you can get a whole nother perspective, a whole nother flavor. And you can go over here to CNN, and you get even a third, spiced up a little differently there. It's seems like each news source that you watch MSNBC, it's spiced up even yet again differently. It's all of these different, the way they spin the news story. But now if you watch that, then you go back and look at what's being talked about, what's being said, the subject or topic that they're talking about on television here, on one of those channels, one of those news stations. And you really get on that World Wide Web, start browsing, doing a little internet surfing on what they're talking about, what they're reporting. Okay. Now a lot of times if you check behind these news sources and what they're saying on television, you'll find that they're only telling half the story. Or sometimes they're only telling half truths. It's only halfway true. Or they left out part of the story. They didn't tell you the entire story, and they didn't tell you the entire story from A to Z. You know, they sometimes they just take bits and pieces of a story and slap it all together and edit the story and make it to their perspective or their point of view. So it's a lot of misinformation on this television. Now, a lot of times they will dissect stories. Mankind has been dissecting stories since the beginning of days. But we didn't have, today we live in a world where there's a lot of knowledge. The level of knowledge has been increased due to the World Wide Web, the internet. So the knowledge has been increased significantly because of the internet. Now a lot of things on the internet you'll find are also being falsified, faked, phony stories. You know, the fake news stories. But we also find it in the newspapers and the television. But a lot of times you have to read between the lines of a news story, and then you have to look up and you find a lot of other things that has been left out of their story, what they reported. Now if you assemble and put all the puzzle pieces together of this story, if you dig them all up, find all them puzzle pieces of the story and put them together, then you have the whole story there. and you can see the big picture. But a lot of times where I collect my news, the things I report on, and things I talk about are from friends, close friends, family members, supervisors, team leads, bosses up at work, the things, tough subject and topics that they're talking about. I get information from friends, close friends. I get information from elders, deacons. Hey, my shepherd, my pastor. He's a pastor of. He only preaches and speaks truths. He's not a prosperity preacher. He don't give you a lollipop and a candy cane in the church service there, and everything sounds so fuzzy to you. It makes you feel so good. No, he's not one of those kind of preachers. He doesn't sit around and preach on the subject of love all of the time, or prosperity all of the time. That's not his style. That's not the way he preaches. So I get a lot of information from my shepherd. He gives me a lot of, he's awoken my eyes and I can see. I was once blind and couldn't see. Hey, I can see now. So I have a sixth sense to read between the lines and really dig up and look up what's being reported about. I do this all of the time because we live in a world that's full of information. We have this World Wide Web. There's information literally right at our fingertips. So I'm not going to let all of this information just go to waste. I'm going to use it and get educated, see if I can't figure out the truth. If I can't figure out the truth, I'm not going to talk about it. But if I can figure out some truth behind the subject or topic, I'm going to talk about it. Shalom. Shalom.